Why high-value black swans don't allow themselves to be pocketed. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert and founder of the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Right here where we teach you, my coaches and I teach you how to present as a high-value, high-status, high-worth woman that high-quality masculine men find completely irresistible. If that sounds like you are on the right channel. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and join Black Swan Nation. Link in the description below. So, what is it to be pocketed? To be honest, I heard this on Susan Winter's video, and I was like, oh my god, there's a whole new term for a whole old act, okay? And it's absolutely true. And I thought, right, I definitely need to do a video for the Black Swans, and let's discuss this, okay? I only got halfway on her video to the definition, and I was like, okay, I've heard enough, okay? And I know I've done videos on this channel about, you know, these sort of things, but before I go any further, let me just explain to you what the new term pocketing is. You know, I love when the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that is has been. And indeed, this has been happening since the beginning of time. We just haven't been able to label it, but we all know, and at some point, if you've been single long enough, you will have been pocketed. You would have been kept a secret. You would have been kept as a dirty little secret, loved in private. Yes, ladies, put it in the comment section if you have known what it is to be loved in private. Okay, now this guy is showing up for you, honey. Oh, yes. I mean, let's talk about romance. Let's talk about showing up. He shows up to your family stuff. He shows up to anything that you want him to be. He is the show up guy, but you can never, ever, ever post anything with him in it. You can never... he will never post anything with you in it. You will never be invited to meet his friends or his family ever. You will know all your friends and all your family, of course. Be very comfortable around them. This is really important for the guy that is playing this game, because that's really what it is. At this point, you are not the woman that he wants the world to acknowledge or see. And I know this is very painful. Why? Because number one, I've had to experience a lot of this nonsense in my past. But it's easy to fall into the trap of being pocketed, because for the most part, I know I've discussed that we move in silence on this channel. And yes, there is a healthy private relationship, but it's very different from being kept a secret. How do you know you're being kept a secret, other than the fact that maybe both of you have agreed to be private until you kind of know where this is going? You know, even when you agree to be private until you both know where this is going, chances are you're gonna, you know, really be talking about each other's friends. You're gonna be, you know, he's gonna be sharing with you about the men in his life and the people in his life and the friendships and vice versa. The conversations will be happening, and so you will all be looking forward to meeting that person. But after you've kind of gone past that first initial assessment stage, it can go up to about 3 months of dating, which goes really fast when two people are getting to know each other. Most of the time, at that point, when we know what we're doing, we know who we are, we've had all the real conversations we need to have, it's time for us to visit friends and family. But I find that it's only ever my friends, it's only ever my family, it's always on my side. And I can't fault you, because you really show up for me. When you come, you bring a bottle of something nice, and you buy me flowers, and you're romantic. And when I am with you, you are with me, honey. There's so much intimacy and so much closeness, and he's very attentive. And so it's very difficult for you to reconcile why this man who seems to really genuinely adore you and want to please you and will do anything for you just simply won't introduce you to his family and his friends. And you know, when it happened to me, it was one of the most painful things, because I've always been the kind of girl that men are proud to show off. And in this moment, I was this girl who he would do anything to avoid being seen with, other than in my circles, with my family, at my dues, in my way. Now, at first I thought, is he embarrassed of his family and friends? Because look, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, Mama Swan likes nice things and to go to nice places. You know, and you know, I am what I am. Make no apologies, okay? And I obviously sense that this is not sort of the way he was brought up, and this is not kind of some of the stuff that he's comfortable with. You know, I love to go to the theater, I love to have dinner in lovely places, and I love culture and art and things that, you know, I could tell that he wasn't necessarily, you know, something that stuff that he does appreciate. So, you know, I thought, oh, could he feel that maybe I'm a snob? Or, you know, I tried to go through it in my head, and you know, I realized that it really had to do with the fact that I just wasn't his forever girl. And this is really important for us to accept, because this is what keeps us being pocketed longer than we really need to be. You know, we are, you know, we get pocketed longer than we need to be because we are failing to understand, you know, the part of our ego that says, but I'm a great girl, I'm wonderful, I'm a black swan, for goodness sakes. Finds it very hard to accept that being the black swan that you are indeed doesn't mean that a man who does see your worth and see your value feels that you are the one for him. And in the same way, we have met great guys. I have met great, amazing guys who would give me the world, but they were just not for me. The match wasn't right. The compatibility wasn't right. And sometimes that happens in reverse. Sometimes you can be the most exquisite, well, all the time you're an exquisite black swan, but it doesn't mean that the man that you're dating is going to feel that you fit into his world, or that you are the sample that his world will accept.
The guys you want don't want you, and the ones you don't want simply won't leave you alone. They say you are picky and have impossible standards. Your partner has lost attraction for you, and you have no idea if he will stay or progress the relationship. The harder you try, the further he pulls away. You are starting to think you are cursed, that there's something fundamentally wrong with you. The truth is, you are not uniquely broken. You're simply ill-informed, uneducated, and ill-equipped. All the things that can be fixed. I am offering you an all-access pass into the Black Swan Nation, where you will receive access to all of the courses, mentoring and coaching calls. We are also offering a 100% no quibble money back guarantee if the academy isn't a fit for you. What are you waiting for? Get smart, be educated, and level up. Do it absolutely right now by clicking the link below.
You know, when you're being pocketed, you know, the show up game is strong. You know, you know, they're really showing up for you. They want to make sure that they meet your other needs also very well, so that you don't complain or you don't feel it. But when it's time, you know, for you to start asking, but why have I never met anybody? This particular gentleman, even when I would be over at his, and I wanted to watch a movie, you know, he would have like a local theater. You know, every kind of area's got a local theater, but we would have to drive 45 minutes out of his town to watch a movie. And he'd be like, oh, because my work colleagues live around here and I don't want them in my business and we'll probably bump into them. So I want to, you know, and it was always, oh, I'm just doing this to protect us and to keep the relationship safe, because I know people will start talking and I'm not ready. We will only tell them when we get engaged, blah, 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 blah. And after a year of that, I was like, something's a bit off. And then I remember being invited to, he asked me, he was doing something, he asked me to meet him at his sister's house. I thought, okay, invitations, we're moving forward, you know. So obviously I show up and it's like, oh, just wait for me, I'll come out. So I thought, okay, maybe he's going to bring his sister out to the car and I'll say hello. And he did not do that. He got into the car and said, let's go. So at this point, it really began to dawn on me that this was never going to happen. I was never, ever, ever going to be the woman that he wanted to to introduce to his friends and to his family, and it's very hurtful. But it's really important that we don't waste time in these situations. So Chengi, how do I know when I'm being pocketed? Well, number one, your gut is going to tell you something is going to feel off, something is not going to be right. Because let's put it this way, when you are ready to introduce him to your family and friends, he should be ready and willing to be doing exactly the same thing if you are on the same page. If it's lopsided, then it's wrong. And a lot of these men who do these sort of things don't mind showing up to yours because it kind of keeps you from seeing things for what they are. And so at this point, I would have a conversation that once you realize, gosh, I'm being pocketed, I'm being kept a secret, the energy of being kept a secret is actually very palpable. And I want you to do the Energy Mastery class. Join the Black Swan Nation, access all the courses, for goodness sakes. But, the Energy Mastery class is one of the ones that I really poured my soul into, because really, we need to really harness and understand spiritual things. We need to understand the spiritual energy between two people and spiritual signatures, right? So that we understand that I am feeling something on a deeper level than emotion that is telling me that something is not right. And this action and this feeling, I can't shift it. At this point, we can then bring that into verbal and have a decent conversation and say, listen, I've noticed that I have not met any of your family or friends. Is there anything that you would like to share with me? Is there anything that you would like to tell me about that? And to be honest, no real explanation for that is valid. I think eventually when I did ask him, he was like, well, because my family is very judgmental. And so I realized that it wasn't that his family were judgmental. I mean, it's very difficult not to like the Mama Swan. It was because he just didn't believe that I was the woman for him, and he was projecting his lack of belief onto them. And so it was, painful, but I knew that at that point there was really gonna be no future. I really didn't want to, and it took a dent on my self-esteem. I've got to be honest, it really knocked me for six, because over time you learn to think less of yourself. You start to examine yourself, question yourself. Am I really as wonderful as I think I am? Am I making mistakes? Am I not showing up in the way that I should? Why? And this has absolutely nothing to do with you. But a black swan never ever allows herself to not be the woman that he wants to show off. On my Instagram, I made a post about this, that we want to be the woman that men want to show off. I've always been that woman in general. This was the first time anything like this had ever happened to me. But when a man is excited about being with you and he really feels and believes that he's found himself a prize, he wants to show his friends, he wants to post you everywhere, he wants to, yes, fair enough, I'm not one for posting anybody on any social media, so I can't complain. But for the most part, a man doesn't want to hide a prize. A man doesn't want to hide a treasure. A man doesn't want to hide he wants to show off. He wants the status that comes with having found somebody amazing like you. And if that's not the vibe, if that's not what you're getting from him, that, oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to meet my friends. I remember my first ever boyfriend literally drove me from house to house to house to house so I could meet all his friends, like literally picked me up after college, and we would go to one friend's house and be like, da da da, this is my girlfriend. And, his friends would be like, what, whatever. And then he would take me somewhere else, and, would literally spend all afternoon going from friend to friend to friend, right? It was ridiculous. We were young. I must have been like 17 or something. But, but that is really how a masculine man feels. A man who is relationship ready, a man who has honorable intentions, a man who really feels like he's found something amazing. He is gonna want to show you off to the world. He is going to just want to show you off. He's just gonna want the whole world to know, look what I have found. And if it's not that, ladies, it's just not good enough. We cannot negotiate a man's heart for us. We cannot negotiate to mean something to him and to his world. This is a negotiation a high value feminine woman just simply will not even entertain. I will not, and neither will any of the black swans ever accept being pocketed. No longer will you have to have these long-winded conversations and beg, right? We don't do that. What we do is we find men who truly believe they are on our level and that they found a prize. And unless we are getting that energy, and baby, only that energy, we will abort mission. Abort! 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 It's perfectly okay to walk away from a man who just doesn't value you enough, doesn't see your value. And yes, I know you've developed an emotional attachment to him. And yes, I know that you really care about him, because indeed he's made sure that that emotional connection is sound and is strong so that he can always withdraw from it. But every single minute you're spending with Mr. Pocketing, he is wasting your time, and he is getting in the way of a man who really wants to show up for you and be there and have you and hold you and show you off to the world. And so I hope that you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you in my next one, or in the Black Swan Nation, where it's all going down. I will see you soon. In the meantime, do take care of you. Love you lots.